Good morning. We welcome once again Secretary Ed Año, and we thank Senator Lacson for being here. This is a second hearing. I've asked my questions in the first hearing. I would give the floor to Senator Lacson. Apologies for being late. I had to attend to other equally important matters. We put on record the presence of everyone here. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Distinguished Chair. I have a question on, first on staffing. I noticed that there's so many unfilled positions, both for 2018 and 2019. The highest number of unfilled positions nasa PNP. Of course, BFP also has their share. So kindly explain bakit 22,000 or 23,000, no? Kung ira-round up. That's huge. So kindly explain.
Good morning, Senator Lauren Legarda, the Chairperson, Committee on Finance, and Senator Pampilo Lacson, sir. For the question regarding the staffing summary, for the PNP, Your Honor, we have a total of 22,933 vacant position, but we expected with the ongoing procurement, by the end of the year, there will be an additional 9,000 to come into the PNP. Thus, the remaining vacant position by the end of 2018 will only be 13,933.
And that would translate to what police to population ratio? Yung present level ngayon ng
Right.
fill up.
Right now, sir, the ratio is 1.
Of course, we know
Right.
that the ideal ratio is 1 to 500, di ba?
Right.
So when do you foresee na ma-reach yung ideal police to population ratio of 1 to 500?
Yeah, ngayon po, sir, is 1:561, the ratio. And then by the procurement of additional 10,000 police officers, we have to we are expecting to reduce it to about 1:520 or 521.
You're also hiring civilian personnel, di ba? Hindi naman lahat uniformed eh. Malaki rin yung unfilled position sa civilian sector sa PNP. So once you complete the recruitment or adequate na recruitment, meron ba kayong plano to maximize the fielding of uniformed police personnel and leave the administrative duties to more to civilian personnel?
Yes, Your Honor. May I refer this to the Chief PNP?
Right now, what is the ratio of headquarters versus field assignments?
We're following the 85-15, sir. 85-15. The 85-15. The 85% deployed, sir.
And we're not only talking of national headquarters, di ba? When we talk of 85-15, it's 85-15 at all levels, di ba, ng headquarters.
Yes, sir.
National, regional, provincial, 15% lagi ang nare-retain lang dyan. And you're following that. So, pag sinama mo yung administrative personnel, ano na ngayon ang police to population ratio? Yung effective ratio ng operationally deployed police personnel versus the population. Of course, it won't be 561 anymore, di ba? Tataas yun. Kasi mababawasan ngayon ng 15%. Kasi hindi kasama sa visibility yun eh. Garrison duties yun eh. So ano yung ratio sa ngayon, yung actual ratio?
As of June, sir, it's 1:577.
Hindi, ang sinasabi niya, pag yung 50.
That's good enough.
2019, sir, 1:566, sir.
Hindi, sinasabi niya operational. Parang 712 bata.
712, sir.
That is on an average.
Baka mali ang arithmetic.
That is
Sir,
Kasi pag binawasan mo 15%, may malaki rin ang impact niyan doon sa operationally deployed police officers.
Average. 6. I think 650.
Hindi natin na-compute pa.
So as of this time, sir, we have not computed that as of this time, sir.
So much for staffing. Yung trust receipts and service fees, magkano ang inaabot ito per annum sa PNP?
An average of 1.2 to 1.3 billion, sir.
Saan nanggagaling lahat itong, anong source or sources nitong trust receipts? First, of course, we know firearms, ano? SOSYA. How about service fees? Total na ba yun? Trust receipts and service fees, yung 1.2, 1.3?
Yes, sir.
Magkano yung component ng trust receipts against service fees? Ilang percent na ba ngayon ng sinisingil yung service fees? 0.5%. 0.5%. So magkano yung nare-realize yung revenue from service fees?
DC, sir.
Your Honor, sir, on the average, around 60 million per quarter from service fee.
Yes, yun yung sa trust receipts. Ano? Ano ang mga sources ng trust receipts? Again, refresher lang sa akin.
The firearms, the clearance from Highway Patrol, the SOSYA,
Criminal Laboratory.
Crime Lab, Highway Patrol, clearance, sir. And DI clearance also, sir, part of that.
Kasi I recall mga siguro mga two months ago, no, there's an issue about dwindling firearms and explosives office trust receipts. Why is this, and is this accurate? Nagdidwindle ba talaga, or?
Your Honor, sir, based on our record, there was a dip on our collection. But as of this quarter, it again increased to the normal level, sir, of the collection.
Kindly explain. Bakit ganon?
Sir, that's why, sir, it's we have being investigated, sir. Why is it we cannot anticipate, sir, the rise and fall of our trust receipt?
Ano man taga-firearms dito? Yes, Ed.
I'd like to make my input. I think there's a connection on the cycle, on the terms of collection, particularly on the LTAP and firearms licenses. Kasi 2 years po yung validity ng LTAP. When the firearms law was implemented, actually nagkaroon po yan ng lali because everybody wants to apply the LTAP but there's no clear process yet. And then nung nagkaroon na po ng magandang process, it will take another 2 years bago ulit mag-renew ng LTAP. So, may lull period po na walang collection. So, it has something to do with that. Especially na
Ang cycle ng pag-remit ng pondo or pag-collect ng pondo.
Yes, Your Honor.
Pero kung i-average mo, say, on a 5-year period, pag ni-level up mo yon,
Okay
anong average per year? Hindi, actually, wala talagang dip.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yun lang cycle ng collection.
The cycle of the collection and the new process implemented by the PNP after the firearms law.
I remember when we were sponsoring I was the author of the comprehensive firearms law, no? Undersecretary Rico Puno. Ang sinasabi niya noon, kaya kami nag-file ng bill, ng measure, and it was sponsored by then Senator Honasan because siya yung chairman ng public order. Sinasabi niya, hindi na kailangang umasa yung PNP sa GAA. Once ma-implement fully yung Comprehensive Firearms Act, Dahil sa collection lang, kaya nang suportahan yung buong PNP. Do you see it happening? Ganun ang computation niya eh. Kasi mawawala ng limit yung pag-license, kasi EL-top na nga, yung tao na yung magre-registro, hindi na yung firearms. Of course, merong individual firearms na, but do you see it happening?
I think, Your Honor, there's a big possibility that that will happen, but right now there are also certain limitations as instructed by the President, like for example, civilians are no longer allowed to purchase above 9 millimeter in the rifle. So, unlike before wherein civilians can own even 5.56, but now, hindi na. So, medyo nabawasan na po doon. Limited na lang yung civilian, which is the biggest market doon sa firearms industry. Limited lang sila sa 9 millimeter. Doon sa naman sa mga security agency, I think the President instructed up to 22 only and shotgun. So, yun po yung mga limitation. But actually, sa firearms law, ano po ang civilian bumili, basta hindi lang siya automatic, dapat semi-automatic.
Bumili at saka magdala yung permit to carry, di ba? Semi-automatic lang ang pwedeng dalhin kung bibigyan ng permit to carry.
Opo, yes.
Now, before we leave that issue do sa trust receipts of trust fund, merong COA report na I think 19 million ito hindi na ibalik sa BTR, sa Bureau of Treasury, sa National Treasury, hindi na i-remit, due to, ito yung mga sinasabing unnecessary, unauthorized trust funds in the amount of more than 19 million not returned to the BTR. Kindly look into this and isettle nyo na lang with COA itong issue.
Yes,
so
Honor.
before the plenary debates, para hindi na mag-crop up ito.
Yes,
Because
Honor. We'll do that.
I think some of my colleagues will be reviewing the COA reports on agencies like the PNP and the DILG. Prepare nyo na lang yung sagot ninyo para hindi na issue ito na ma-raise.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah. Anong status ng CEP? Yung enhancement program ng PNP? And what's the status at saka ano yung nagawa natin from the funds ng para doon sa CEP? I think it was a 10-year program. Ano ba yung mga na-procure doon? Aside from the rubber boats and the second-hand helicopters.
Sir, Police Deputy Director General Gamboa, sir. Chairman of the Bids and Awards Committee. I've been a witness to the utilization of the Capability Enhancement Program funds since 2008. And a portion of this was actually given to Procurement Service DBM, almost amounting to 10 billion. But when this administration sat down, sir, we saw to it that we will not be giving monies to PSDBM nor to PITC on a delegated authority. The absorptive capacity of the PNP in 2017 is almost 99%, having 3 cycles of procurement. Ibig sabihin, sir, nag-bid, may balance, binid, nag-balance, so 3 cycles. Kaya umabot kami sa 99, almost 99% absorptive capacity. Now, na-utilize naman properly, sir, yung CEP. As a matter of fact, dun sa almost 10 billion sa PSDBM, ang hindi gumagalaw is around 500 million na lang through a number of years, sir. And what we can be proud of, sir, for this administration for the past 3 years, from the usual 2 billion per year, which would total sana, sir, mga 6 billion lang, this administration gave the PNP around 22 billion. So almost 4 times, sir. But of course, this was given to the PNP because of the absorptive capacity that we have. And we're doing well. As a matter of fact, by end of November, we will be completing the bidding process for 2019 based on the National Expenditure Program. So what we're going to do by January 1 is we're just going to award and probably work on around 100, 150 million balance for 2019. So these are the procurement enhancement that we did, and we're proud to say, sir, that exemplary ang performance ng PNP, even if compared to other government agencies.
Thank you. merong measure pending in the Senate and I suppose also in the House, yung PNP Modernization Program. Okay itong yung measure. The problem incurred is the sourcing of funds. Unlike sa AFP, meron silang assets di ba? Asset privatization. So yun ang hindi ma-resolve, that's why it's not moving. So, nakapag-account na ba kayo, nakapag-inventaryo na ba kayo ng assets ng PNP na minana from the old PC? Kasi nagkaroon din ng issue to, who is supposed to own those properties, di ba? Yung mga mostly real estate. Kasi PC Camp and PC at the time was under the AFP. Na-resolve ba yung issue of ownership ng mga real estate? So pagka pinus natin tong PNP Modernization, meron tayong pagkukunan ng pondo para para i-finance yung modernization program.
Sir, actually yung naging development sa real estate or real properties is that those solely owned by the PNP, solely occupied, automatic sir sa PNP. But once merong, kahit guardhouse lang sir, pag jointly occupied na by AFP and PNP, dinidebate pa sir, and hanggang ngayon, hindi pa yan nare-resolve. Of course, because probably, the AFP doesn't want to lose the property. Now sir, based on the plans that we have for modernization, probably one is increasing the licensed firearms sir. Hopefully, we can enhance. If we can double, that's around 3 billion, if we can double the trust receipt. Another is, we are ambitious on our national police clearance system, which is supposed to generate at the initial full blast and operation around 1 billion peso a year. So that's around 4 to 5 billion we're looking at as an initial help of the PNP to the modernization. Yun sir, yung parang general
In other
direction.
words, earmarking will be part and parcel of that measure if it's enacted into law. Naka-earmark na yung earnings ng FEO at saka sa police clearance para sa modernization program. So,
Yes, sir. But of
so
course,
there's really need to pass a law, to enact a law para magkaroon ng dedicated pondo for the PNP modernization. That's what you're suggesting.
yes sir. Sir, and another thing is the use of the trust receipt funds. We cannot use it solely for
Yeah.
one purpose, for scholarship and for other MOE of the units who are actually collecting it. So there has to be a revision also on the use of the trust receipt funds.
Lahat naman ng nakukuhan yung revenues, automatic pinapadala sa treasury, hindi ba? And you only have to request from the Office of the President kung magkano yung requirement ninyo. Ano yung nakukuha yung pondo from your remittances? Ilang percent ang nakukuha ninyo?
Bureau of Treasury is so kind to the PNP, sir. We get it all
100%.
back. Yes, sir.
Kasi I remember during my time, I requested the President na wag na kami mag-remit. But we were limited to using that fund, the trust receipts, para sa infrastructure. So we were building headquarters, we're repairing barracks out of the trust receipts. Hindi na ito pupunta sa treasury. And I remember the President issued, at the time, issued an administrative order. It only takes an admin order, an AO, for the PNP to just utilize the funds as they collect it. Para wala na yung bureaucratic problem o delay na magre-remit, magre-request din naman, sabi mo nga 100% din naman nakukuha. Anyway, sa BFP, meron bang BFP rito?
Yes, sir.
Ilan yung unfilled position ninyo? Ano ba rango mo? Director?
Director, sir. Chief ng
Why is the Chief PNP having 4 stars on his shoulders tapos ikaw 2 lang estrella mo? Hindi ba unfair yun?
Sir, yung nandun sa
And also
6 na,
BJMP, maximum
Yes,
na
sir.
ba yan?
Yes, sir. Ito yung maximum rank
Sige,
namin, sir.
ilan ang unfilled position ng...
So, as of now, sir, ang aming unfilled position na lang, nakapagpa-take out na kami this October 1, nabawasan na sir yung ating unfilled position. So, dati sir, nung ating last reported sir is 2,956. So, nakapagpa-take out na kami ng 2,000 this October. So, 900 plus na lang. So, may mga ongoing promotion pa kami to fill up this unfilled position natin. So mababawasan pa sir itong 900 plus na unfilled position natin by the end of this year. So may mga factors sir na mga hindi natin ma-fill up din yung iba due to the lack of qualified applicants for the promotion. Kaya yung mga iba sir, may mga ma-retain natin siguro dito na mga unfilled position pa rin.
Kung ang PNP, police to population, ano yung barometer ninyo? Ano yung yardstick nyo para sa personnel component ninyo?
Sir, based doon sa ating personal...
To justify, say you want to push for an increase of personnel, ano yung pang-justify na ratio para ma-justify yung request nyo for increase in personnel?
Sa ngayon, sir, ang ginagamit natin ngayon, sorry, sa fire truck to population ratio. So, 1 fire truck to 28,000 population. So, in every fire trucks, we need at least 14 personnel for 2 shifts. So, 7-man team per shift. So, 14 personnel per fire trucks. So, sa ngayon, sir, yun yung ating ginagamit ngayon. Hindi pa rin natin na-reach, sir, yung manpower requirements
So,
for every
if
fire
the
trucks.
ideal is 1 or 14 to 1 fire truck to 28,000 population, nasaan tayo ngayon? Anong level natin?
Ilan pa yan?
Anong level? How many personnel per fire truck ngayon? Yung actual?
Ang aming actual fire trucks sa ngayon, sir, ay nasa 2,343. So, ang aming actual personnel natin ngayon ay nasa 25,000 sa ngayon, sir. So,
translated into that ratio, that computation, how many, at present, how many firemen man a fire truck? And the number of fire trucks, tama ba to or kulang do sa 28,000 population?
malaki pa, sir, ang kakulangan, sir. Hindi pa natin
O yung fire truck to population muna, ilan ang gap?
Yung population natin.
Use your iPhone. GMG.
So, sir, ang shortfall natin sa ngayon, sir, ay 31,000 manpower, sir, ang shortfall pa natin para ma-meet natin yung...
Teka muna, ilan ang fire trucks nyo at saka ano yung ratio ngayon ng fire truck sa population? Ano yung fire truck to population ratio at present?
Compute na.
Your Honor, just to help our colleagues, nasa 41,000 po for every,
So,
from the one fire
one fire
truck
truck to 41.
Opo.
And then how many firemen per fire truck ang ratio ngayon? You have the number of fire trucks so, and the number of personnel. Ano yung ratio ng firemen to the fire truck?
So more or less 1:10. 25,000, then
Kasi ang ideal is
2,400.
14 personnel per fire truck. So ngayon, ang actual is 1.
One fire truck for every 10 personnel. So, yung
So
current-
kulang ng 4.
Opo.
Use your, sige nga, use your,
Sir, yung iba doon, sir, hindi pa...
nasa DILG ka na pala ngayon, Yusik.
Yes, sir.
Yusik Insay. Sige.
Charge sa kanila, sir. I'm the one supervising them. For public safety. Public safety, sir.
Sige.
So,
Please.
if you follow also the 15-85% ratio of the population, sir, mas mababa pa, sir, ang 1. Maybe 1:8, 1:7.
So, i-direct na natin, ano yung gap ng fireman to population ratio? Kung doon natin, anong ideal? Sige, Ed.
For a population of 106,600,000, ang ating pong required manpower is 54,327. Right now, we have 20,411 existing plus additional 2,000 for procurement. So, shortage pa rin po tayo ng 31,916 manpower. If we are going to solve the population ratio.
Yeah, so ano yung plano nyo ngayon o program nyo sa recruitment sa BFP?
For 2000,
Ilan yung re-recruit nyo for 2019? Considering na ang kulang ninyo is more than 35,000
yes, sir. 3,000 po yung aming
nakaprogram
nakaprogram.
for 2019. Hindi ba napakalayo nun?
Well, because we also have shortage or shortfall of fire trucks amounting to 1,296. The ideal number of fire trucks for the 106 million population is 3,807 fire trucks.
And we only have how many now?
2,511
So, short
fire
tayo ng
trucks.
1,000. Ang problema niya,
Short
pag
po.
naghintayan, hindi tayo makarecruit kasi wala naman fire truck.
Yes, sir.
Sabi naman nung iba, ba't tayo kukuha ng fire truck? Wala naman tayong personal na magmaman. So, how do you resolve that issue? No? Di ba dapat simultaneous ang pag-program? Of course, meron kayong multiplier effect, di ba? Dahil ang daming fire volunteers. Ilan yon? Anong impact noon do sa population, do sa ideal ratio ninyo? If you take into consideration the fire volunteers in the whole country, ano yung pinoprovide na complement noon in terms of fireman to fire truck to population ratio? Sige, para ma-recommend ko yung yung maging four-star yung BFP. Kung hindi ka makasagot.
Sa ngayon, sir, kasi yung sa ating 5 volunteer, hindi siya naka-fix yung number nila. So, ang aming consideration pa, sir, dito, during the budget proposal with the DBM, we submitted yung request natin for the manpower requirements na yung additional inspectors natin. Kasi separate itong mga inspectors natin sa ating mga firefighters na nasa trucks natin. So, we propose more than 9,000 personnel for next year. But ang na-approve lang ngayon, sir, for 2019 is only 3,000. So, yung mga inspectors kasi natin, sir, ay separate yung function nila dito sa mga ating mga firefighters na sa fire suppression.
Yeah, but my question is, ano yung positive impact noong multiplier effect ng fire volunteers? Ano yung tulong nila in terms of the ratio? Pag-aralan mo na lang tapos i-submit mo na lang.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Madam Chair.
If we were to fund the hiring of fire volunteers, fire personnel in the BFP and professionalize them and procure all the necessary fire trucks and equip fire stations nationwide, how many personnel, how many fire stations and vehicles, and what's the total amount? Do you have that now? Just in case we have, which we don't have. I just want to know. Just just to plan. Because every year we sit like this and the population is growing and the need is also widening. So, summary na, ilang tao, ilang station, ilang trucks, at sa suma total ng cost, magkano po? If you have it, you should have it. Second question is, iba yung needs ng urban, iba naman ang rural. Diba? Yung malalayo, bago ka makita ng ibang bahay, syempre naman hindi. So, in a very rural province, let's say like Antique, with 18 municipalities and no city, and no high-rise buildings, at hindi dikit-dikit ang mga bahay, ano ang need? For us who are not fire experts, unlike Cavite, na dikit-dikit ang bahay, sa hometown mo ng anong home city mo? Ang Imus, oo. So, ano po yung need ng ganun? So, I assume that your need is based on the configuration of the LGUs. Pakisagot po.
Sorry, tama. As of now, ma'am, based on the recapitulation of the BAP modernization, we need at least 66,268,909,682.31 centavos. For the construction of a typical municipal fire station, so we need 672. Typical city fire station, we need 78. Regional office, we need at least 7. The provincial office, we need 40. Training centers, at least we need 3. So emergency and service vehicles, this includes the fire trucks and other firefighting vehicles, and PPE, CCBA, and the firefighting equipments and tools. So ito ma'am yung amount.
And sir, include the personnel? Hindi pa.
Hindi pa kasama ma'am.
Pagkasama ang personnel, ilan yung total at magkano ang sweldo? Total. So 66 billion for the capital outlay,
Yes.
infrastructure and
Ye-
equipment.
Yes ma'am, yes ma'am.
And the personnel, if I heard you correctly, you need to hire how many? 6,000? Is it 6,000? No.
As of now, ang kulang pa namin ma'am ay nasa more than 31,000 personnel pa. Sa existing fire trucks natin, hindi pa included ma'am yung proposed
So-
procurement natin.
Sa existing fire trucks. But if you put up the 66 billion worth of infrastructure, you'll need much, much more.
Yes ma'am.
So that's really, realistically, undoable. So, because we have to face reality and then adapt. So what is our adaptation mode? So first, give us the capital infrastructure need. Second, give us the personnel need. How much total here, total here. And then, what only is available now? Now we see the shortfall. We can't allow our people to die in fires. So, because we are a creative people and we know how to adapt, adapt, whichever is the right word. So, let's just do adaptation mode in fire safety. Ganun na lang. Kasi ito lang kaya natin. I-hire, ito lang kaya natin itayo. So, that's what we need from you. If you can put it on the record now, I would be happy. If not, before sundown today, we would be happy to receive from you total capex, total person, but more important, adapt. By tapping the Chinese Fire Brigade, ang gagaling niyan. Or training through TESDA, skills training of yung mga tambay dyan, o out-of-school youth dyan, maturuan silang maging fire volunteers. Then perhaps TESDA with toolkits can give the equipment needed to be fire safety volunteers. Or best, DRR, to reduce the risk of fires. Eh kasi mga gasera, iniiwang ganyan. O, ganun. Nataob. O kandila. So, DRR tayo. Kasi hindi natin kaya naman yung 66 billion plus. Pakisagot po. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. We will provide the needed data for up to this afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, based doon sa ating sinabi kanina na for the capital outlay, so ang manpower requirements na per capita is 17 billion 410. So, to add it on, so kailangan natin ma'am ng 84 billion. Yes, ma'am.
We need 84 billion for 2019 budget so that the BFP will be equipped and professionalized.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. I have to admit it, Senator Lacson, even if you amend it, I may not be able to accept that amendment, much as we wish to complete your facilities and hire the proper personnel. So what we're going to ask from you, sir, is ano po ang magagawang paraan given the existing facilities and equipment and personnel to tap our human resource. Yun ang ating ace eh. We have 105 million population. Then we can train them. Then you can have a MOA with TESDA for training for fire volunteers. And tap all the Philchay Fire Brigade na magagaling. Sila pang unang dumarating kaysa sa lahat. Oh, ganun. And then, yan, I think that's a training. And then, honestly, I don't see how we can fill up that 84 billion within the end of the term of Senator Lacson. Multi-year.
I-divide namin ma'am sa ng 5, 10, 15 years. So, isasubmit namin ma'am yung aming...
Parang din classroom yan eh. 20 years na ako nakaupo dito. Ang classroom hindi na rin napuno kasi dumadami din ang populasyon. Ganun din eh. Pero subukan nyo, sige. I-multi-year na rin nyo.
Yes, sir. And 15 years, ma'am, we need 6.5 billion per year in 15 years. Kung hatin natin in the, per year, per 15 years. 6.5 billion per year.
Madam Chair, i-consider po din natin ma'am yung, kasi for every fire station, there's also emergency medical team or ambulance nila. And kasama po dapat din yan yung ambulances that i-procure natin kasi Just like in other countries, pag may fire truck, may ambulance. Kasi yun yung magsisave sa tao. So, i-consider natin pati yung procurement ng ambulances.
Po ang ambulansya
Hindi pa
doon?
po.
Kailangan may ambulans.
Yes po. And dahil po sa creation ng 911, nilakyan po natin responsibility ng BFP, in-include natin po yung emergency medical ambulance sa kanila. So, and to include also yung disaster rescue. They should also be procuring rescue trucks for in case of disaster. Yun po yung mga additional trabaho po na dapat na in-include natin sa Bureau of Fire.
Same line of questioning sa BJMP. Yung we're talking here of a ratio para makita natin yung personal complement ninyo kung sufficient.
Sir,
How many detention prisoners
145,000, sir.
all over the country now?
Yes, sir.
145,000. How many personnel do you have?
I have only 13,000.
So ano yung ratio nito?
The ratio
One
is
is-
1 is to 11, sir.
1 is to
1 is to 11.
1 personnel is to 11.
Yes, sir.
Pero yung 13,000 personnel kasama na lahat dito, di ba?
Yes,
Pati
sir.
yung headquarters
Yes,
personnel.
sir.
Hindi naman lahat ito jail guards eh. So ilan lang yung effectively manning 145,000 detention prisoners?
We have, ano, sir, actually the ideal ratio would be 1 is to 7.
1 is to 7.
But then on the ground, we have 1 is to 60. That is
1
only
is to 60.
for custodial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're only talking of personnel. Yung facilities, that's another
That's
matter
another, ano,
altogether,
sir.
di ba?
Good enough,
Ang
sir.
average population ng detention facility ninyo,
It differs from one facility
yeah,
to
pero
another.
ano yung maximum, ano yung minimum? Anong ideal ba? Anong size
One,
dapat?
4.7 is equal to one PDL, one inmate. 4.7 square meter.
Square meters.
Yes, sir.
So yung
We have
145,000,
at present 100,000 square meters, sir. And that is only good for at least 21,000 inmates.
and you're housing 145,000.
Yes, sir. But then again, we have the 2019 budget, sir, we are given by the government of 2.9 billion for the construction of
Oh,
100
yeah,
jail
understand.
facilities. And this would greatly reduce 2 or 3 years from now the congestion, granting that the jail pop will not drastically increase for the next 2 or 3 years. It will reduce to from 545 congestion rate at present, it will reduce to 118, sir, more or less.
DILG, problema mo to. Paano bang ma-solve ito?
Well, actually, sir, year after year, there are budgets given to the BJMP for the construction. Like for 2019, 100 jails to be constructed. And from ratio of 1 is to, the congestion rate of 500 plus to just 100 something plus. So that means
118.
180.
18.
118 congestion rate. That means malaki pong kabawasan. Kung isang kulungan na para sa isang preso, 6 ang nakakulong, so at least ay 2 na lang na preso sa isang lugar ng isang preso. So
And then yung escort, iba pa yon. Ano bang ideal number of escorts per detention prisoner?
Iba
Yung
din yun,
sa
sir.
court-
The
sa court
ideal,
hearing.
sir, the ideal, sir, is 1 is to 1 plus 1. But then in
Ano yun?
reality,
1 is to?
1 is to 1 plus 1. Meaning
1 is to 1
plus 1 supervisor.
plus 1. So 2 personnel per detention
No,
prisoner?
not necessarily, sir. If you're escorting about 10,
Okay.
that would be
I see your
10
point.
escort plus 1 supervisor.
But most of the time,
And then,
wholesale yung na-escortan nyo, hindi naman isang preso lang eh.
hindi, sir. Ang nangyayari, sir, on the ground is 1 is to 60. Something like
1 is to 60.
1 is to 6.
In-average mo na to?
Yes, yes.
In-average mo na to sa number of court
Yes, sir.
hearings na inattend.
Yes, sir. Daily.
1 guard, 1 escort to 60 detention
Excuse
prisoners.
me, sir. I have to clarify, man.
Kaya na-ambush yung ano eh.
One is to two lang po nandito.
1 is to 40, sir. 1 is to 40.
Well,
Ang custodial is 1 is to 62. 1 is to 4.
Yeah.
1 is to 4.
does it make any
Yes, Yes, sir.
Wala masyadong diferensya yun. 1:60 and 1:40.
Yes, sir.
Again, how do you resolve this problem?
Actually, Your Honor, this problem came out with the campaign against drugs. 71% of our inmates, or 102,582 of 143,000 inmates, are those with drug-related cases. Sa aming coordination and cooperation with the DOJ and the Supreme Court, in-advocate po namin yung plea bargaining so that we can reduce the number of inmates by availing plea bargaining. So, actually po, maraming nabawas doon. So, that's one of the program. And then, of course, secondly, yung program po natin to construct additional modern jail facilities. It's about time also to construct modern jail facilities. We will not only solve congestion but actually improve the lives of the inmates and prepare them once they are released in the future. And additional personnel for the BJMP, Your Honor.
We're talking here billions, ano? Pero I noticed yung unused appropriations ng buong DILG family, no, na nasa mga 9.5 billion. Ang average from 2011 hanggang 2017. So, while you're consistently looking for funds, meron naman kayong portion na hindi nyo nagagastos. 9.5 billion per year on the average from 2011 to 2017. So, kindly address also that the problem that is.
Yes, Your Honor.
Kasi hanap tayo na hanap ng pondo, pero hindi nyo naman nagagamit yung iba. So, and PNP is the biggest culprit here, ano? Second yung OSEC. I think
Yes.
nasa mga 2.2 plus billion yung sa OSEC eh. Malaki yung ano niya eh. Malaki yung unused. When I say unused,
Yes, yes, sir.
it's unobligated and unreleased, no? Although mataas yung obligation rate ninyo, nasa 90 plus % na kayo, di ba?
94.
Yeah, 94%.
94%.
While yung PNP, kasi mid-year pa lang, baka hindi pa kayo nakaka-catch up sa computation, nasa mga 40 plus lang kayo eh. Obligation rate as of for this year, di ba? Bakit mababa?
Sir, yung sa procurement kasi, sir, there was a release of 2.2 billion for this year. Ito, sir, yung na-drag dahil we were waiting for, we had the intention really to standardize the firearms of the PNP and was looking for a government-to-government procurement. However, it did not pursue, kaya pero kaya namin, sir, ubusin na till the last day of December, sir, we're going to work.
Nasa 1:1 na ba yung firearm to police officer ratio? Wala pa. Ilan ang kulang? When I say basic firearm, ito yung short lang?
Sir, for the short, after procurement ng 2019, sir, will be 98%. But for the long firearms, it's 83, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, kung 85-15 naman yung ano nyo, yung headquarters to field deployment ratio, tama lang yan, di ba? Dahil
Yes.
last priority naman sigurong armasan yung especially long firearms, yung nasa headquarters,
Yes, sir.
di ba? Nag-armory ba kayo or issued ito through MRs? Issued na.
Yes, sir. It's through MR, sir.
Yeah, through MRs.
We call it PAR now, sir. PAR. Property Acknowledgement Receipt PAR, sir. PAR.
Sa BFP, alam nyo, perennial issue yung, sasabihin ko na rito, yung fire extinguisher, ha? One time or another, kami dito lahat may experience dyan. I assume si chairperson, alam nyo, hindi nyo ba ma-solve yung, nakakahiya eh, di ba? I-refer ka sa supplier na 5,000 yung fire extinguisher, samantalang kung bibili ka sa labas, 2,000 lang. Kung hindi ka bibili sa supplier, medyo matagal lumabas yung permit. kindly seriously look into that, ano? Because hindi lang embarrassing, kundi counterproductive sa development. Imagine, ilan yung nagpapakonstruct ng mga buildings, ilan yung papagawa ng bahay, tapos they'll be confronted with that kind of an issue, di ba? Pero tama ang estimate ko, di ba? 5,000 yung endorsed supplier, pero bibili ka sa labas, 2,000 lang. Yes.
Your Honor, at the department's level, that is one of our advocacies. I issued an MC or memorandum circular for the prohibition of BAP personnel involved in endorsing any fire extinguisher or anything related to or as a requirement for the release of any fire safety inspection certificate. Marami na po kaming nakasuhan na personnel ng Bureau of Fire because of fire extinguisher, and we will continue to do that. And we welcome actually complaints from businessmen. Meron na rin pong one-stop shop sa mga municipalities and cities. So they will conduct transaction and even online transaction. So lahat po ginagawa namin to erase the bad image of the Bureau of Fire for these malpractices, Your Honor.
Ito, petty graft ito pero if it has become so ubiquitous, no, na masyadong common, ang effect nito malaki petty, pero kung irritating naman na ganyan at saka lahat nakaka-experience, it doesn't, project a good image of the entire government bureaucracy. Di ba? Parang police din yan yung police sa barangay, sila yung first line of defense. Most people in the remote barangays, ang nakita lang nilang representative ng government doon, police or the teacher, or the fireman. Kung yun yung impression nila sa government, dahil yun lang nakikita nilang government, kasi layo naman nila sa mga munisipyo. Tapos ganun yung nakaka-enkwentro nila, yun ang impression na ng tao sa buong gobyerno. So, wag nating, wag nating parang tingnan lang na, anyway, petty graft lang naman yan na, but if it is so representative of, di ba, if it represents the entire, parang yan yung nangyayari all over, ang sama rin ng dating parang ganun. Every time we conduct committee hearings, hindi lang stressful. It's really frustrating.
And it's every agency is like this. I don't want to be, I'm a perennial. On the good side, from where I sit, I see so much funds being unspent. And if I show you the underspending, it's by the billions. So when you say that you need 84 billion for fire equipment, in the past years, maybe not this year, you would see up to 500 billion, ang underspent more. At least 500 billion underspent, sinusoli lang sa treasury. So actually, we could fill in the 84 billion if other agencies would utilize their budgets. So hindi sa walang pera, it's misappropriated. And there's inefficient use of resources and systems loss. Just so that it's clear.
Ma'am, suggestion.
My Kasimanwa from Antique.
Yes. Ma'am, suggestion. Give more to the agency who can absorb properly.
That's true. No, that's true. That's why after all these hearings, we will review. We keep on giving to agencies that cannot swallow. We will give it to agencies that can use it, who need it most. Yes. That's why we were able to double the military and police pay. That's why we were able to do free college education, even with the same universe, the same budget.
Your Honor, for 2018, we expect a better performance for DILG and its agencies under it. For the PNP, expected will be about 99% po ang obligation. And,
Yeah. Okay, continue.
and for the OSEC, about 98%.
Okay.
But we will really do all our effort to go for 100% if possible.
Sec, hindi lang po obligation ha, hanggang implementation kasi kamukha yung assistance to municipalities, maaring na-obligate nyo, pero yung mga LGU ang babagal. Sino po ang in charge ng assistant to municipalities? Who's the focal person? Yes. Oo.
Yes,
Attorney
Robin.
Doblon ha? May have your name and numbers, contact po. Yes. Ito yung gustong-gusto palagi ni Senator Lacson. This is really consultative, no? It's from the ground, right? From barangay, municipality, city, province, regional, and then they submit it to you, right? And then you provide based on their prioritization and their needs, no?
Yes, Your Honor.
But it's a lump sum, right? It's a lump sum in DBM and in the ILG. And released directly to the LGU. Okay. How do you monitor the implementation of the assistance to municipalities? Minomonitor nyo? Kasi maaring na-obligate nyo tapos natutulog ang pondo ron eh.
We're
Or may
doing,
deadline din ho yun.
Senator, we're doing regular monitoring. At the very least, during the life of a project, the minimum would be 3 visits to the project, minimum po. So from the development phase of the project to the implementation and completion. So may regular monitoring po.
Madam Chair, that's during the implementation of the PAPs, hindi ba? Ang mas importante sa planning, how efficient is the planning undertaken by the local government units? Because after all, dapat yun ang basis ng General Appropriations Act, hindi ba? Kasi kung top to bottom, instead na bottom up, parang merong disconnect, ang laki ng disconnect. Because what we will have actually, yung hindi kailangan ng isang town, isang municipality or isang barangay, yun ang dumarating na project galing from the national government. Whereas kung efficient yung local development plans, the way it's, it's being submitted to the regional, to the RTC, and eventually to the DBM and the DBCC, mas efficient because needs and priorities will be addressed instead of the other way around. Kasi minsan, at saka that's also the issue na kung bakit marami nakapila rito during budget season, andyan na nakapila ng mga mayors, governors, barangay chairmen, nanghihingi ng pondo sa mga congressmen, sa mga senador. So it will not solve the problem simply because hindi na-address yung kanilang, yung output ng kanilang local development plans. Di ba? In fact, may disconnect na nga sa timing because na-approve yung budget call. Yung budget call is undertaken sometime in March, di ba? First quarter. Pero nagsasabit ng local development plans, yung local government units, mga October. So pagdating ng RDC and manghihingi ng appropriations yung mga governors for their municipalities and barangays and even sa provincial level, ang isasagot sa kanila ng DBM, tapos na yung budget call. So that also is the cause of, so many realignments pagdating sa budget deliberation. Kasi nga, pag dumating yung si mayor, si barangay chairman, si governor, sa office ni Senator Ligarda, at nakita niya yung need to really appropriate for some funds for that province, gagalawin na yung General Appropriations Bill, no, na submitted by the House. Whereas kung efficient yung planning, paakyat, hindi mangyayari yun. Tsaka wala na rin makapag-insert na congressman, wala na rin yung pork. Kaya rin nauso yung pork because, afterthought eh. No? This has been my advocacy since 2-3 years ago eh. Pero, and I filed a bill and I requested the Finance Committee Chair to create a subcommittee, but unfortunately, wala namang counterpart sa House. No, but I think it will solve a lot of, gaps between the local government units and the national government if it happens. So kindly look into this sa DILG level. Paano natin mare-reconcile yung needs and priorities of the local government units doon sa planning ng national government. Kasi sabi ko nga, yung timing itself, masama na eh. Kasi tapos yung budget call, nagde-deliberate pa yung mga local government units crafting their local development plans. Umakit ito hanggang RDC. Pag dito sa RDC, too late the hero.
And in connection with the concern of Senator Ping, I'm so ingrained now in the local hanggang barangay, hanggang purok sitio. Why is there still, despite all these LDC, RDC, all of that, disconnect? Hanggang footbridge hinihingi sa akin. Hanggang laboratory hinihingi sa akin. Hindi naman dapat hingin sa chairman ng finance ang laboratory because there's open defecation ng footbridge dahil hindi makatawid sa barangay. Hindi ba yan dinidiscuss hanggang sa barangay meetings, hanggang municipality meetings, hanggang sa provincial? Bakit ganun? Kundi ba pagpunta ang senador sa liblib, hindi malalaman. I'd like to know where is the disconnect?
Samantalang dapat nandun yan sa local development plan submitted by the lowest government unit, which is the barangay. Yeah. Di ba? And wala naman dapat issue doon sa pakikialam ng mga congressmen because the representatives of districts, members naman sila ng mga local development councils, either as observer or actual member. They can debate. Kung meron silang issue about prioritization of projects, they can debate in the local development councils, di ba? And kung ano yung pagkasunduan nila, sa barangay, they're represented. Municipal, they can attend. Provincial, they can attend. Di ba? So, ito pa isang local, maging local. So, yeah. So, paano natin ma-resolve yung disconnect? Para mawala na rin yung dole-out mentality ng Pilipino. Kasi di ba, pagdating ng budget season, makita mo talaga parang may nagpapalimos lagi dyan ng mga projects, which should not happen if only yung mga local development plans na forward hanggang sa Malacanang na take up sa budget call. And you will be their representative, their voice, pagdating sa budget call, being the Secretary of the DILG, hindi ba?
Sir, first of all, with the funds that you provided for the strengthening of the local development councils, we ensure the functionality of the LDC, particularly at the lowest level, at the barangay. So what happens, sir, there's a processing and consideration ng mga local development investment programs. Akyat ito from municipality to provincial Development Council, and then to the RDC, the Regional Development Council. Then the RDC will evaluate these investment programs, and this after the evaluation, this evaluated LDIPs will be routed to the list of the projects will be routed to the regional line agencies. Ngayon po, doon po rin magkakaroon ng disconnect because when the regional line agencies receive the projects, they will submit it to their principals at the national, and then the national will have its own priorities, which is not aligned initially or originally from the lower LDCs. And then the line agencies, I mean the department, will put it into their own budget, and then before the feedback will go to the RDC whether those submitted projects are funded or not, and before they will also provided the feedback to the DILG, because with the DILG will give the feedback to the local government units. So doon po nakita namin yung disconnect pagdating sa RDC, dahil yung line agencies, hindi niya susundin po yung sinubmit na evaluated from the RDC. Maybe because they have their own priorities, set of priorities, and maybe because also of limitation of funds. Now another disconnect is we have the LDC, we have the POC, we have also the local DRRMC, Now, where in fact, supposedly this project should be aligned to develop the preparedness of the barangay as well as contribute to the peace and order of the barangay. So kung di po nagkukumbin ng sabay-sabay yung tatlo, mayroon pong mga projects na ipopropose pero hindi doon sa mga conflict affected areas which actually are the areas that really need development. Kasi ito nga po yung ini-exploit at ginagamit ng mga terrorists at CPP-NPA. So the tendency is they would plan projects to areas where it can be easily implemented. But doon sa mga conflict affected areas, mahirap. So another disconnect. Kaya po dito sa sa isang napag-usapan yung last hearing, nag-craft kami ng GAA special provision for the conduct of joint meetings of LDC, POC, and DRRMC and other local institutions, even at the lower or lowest levels. Meaning to say, pag naisama po ito sa GAA, required po yung LGUs to meet all the councils, LDC, at saka yung DRRMC and POC, and they come to come up with plans that are responsive to existing and emerging challenges, and as well as formulate joint strategies to address them. So maybe with that move, mas practical yung magiging LDIPs at saka mas talagang mas kailangan sa mga areas. Now, ito naman po yung babantayan namin because gusto rin po namin i-propose, magkaroon na lang ng isang meeting o isang council na lang to combine the POC and the RDC at the regional level. So, Regional Peace and Development Council. Para sigurado pong nakalinya yung projects may effect dun sa peace and order natin at saka sa disaster preparedness, Your Honor.
Now, question, have there been instances na yung district representatives actually join the local development councils in their discussion? Meron ba mga ganyan? May namamonitor kayong ganyan o wala? Because they don't mind joining, they don't mind engaging yung discussion doon dahil anyway, pagdating sa Congress, kami naman na masusunod. But the ideal situation should have been or should be that the congressmen, the district representatives, dapat kasama sila or their representatives, yung mga chief of staff nila or yung political officers, should join in the discussion of whatever programs, activities, and projects na binubuo doon sa local development councils.
Yes, Your Honor. Actually po, sa level lang ng barangay, yung barangay development plan, hindi po yan pwede mabudgetan kung hindi magsasign yung representative ng, I mean, the congressman or his representative. So, but the problem is, tinitake for granted lang din.
This is all the way up to the provincial level?
Yes, Your Honor.
Nagsasign off din sila?
Yes, up to the provincial.
Madam Chairman, may I interject on that point of Senator Lacson? For the record, I completely agree with the point of Senator Lacson, and I'm quite aware of what is going on the ground. To begin with, local governments lack funds, clearly and definitely. Only a few of them, a handful of them, in fact in Metro Manila, can generate enough funds to provide for whatever it is they need. If you go to the provinces, palaging kulang po yun. In fact, there is an ongoing proposal that we have been proposing insofar as the local government code is concerned to amend the sharing from 60-40 in favor of the national government to 40-60 in favor of the local government unit, following a basic principle. Mas alam ng lokal yung kailangan nila kaysa tayo sa national government. Now, on the point of Senator Lacson, sinubukan gawin ng gobyerno yung BUB in the previous administration. Anong pinalit nyo, Secretary Anyo, sa BUB? Di ba yung pinalit kayo? Assistance to municipalities. It's about what? 50 billion? Ang under sa DILG. Sa LGSF.
Iba pa ho yung LGSF, iba pa yung assistance to LGUs, di ba?
Magkano po yung total
Iba
na?
yun. Iba yung ALGO, iba yung LGSF. You put the LGSF and the ALGO together, ilan yun?
11 billion for the assistance to municipalities.
ALGO,
this is my...
LGSF, pero meron pang ibang assistance.
Ang municipalities govern sa
Oo, cities.
ALGO is part of the LGSF.
Teka.
LGSF. ALGO. LGSF is part of
ALGO.
So, total 11 bilang, hindi, malaki. Marami pang iba. Pakibasa po ng lahat ng assistance to iba-ibang pangalan. No, what is the mother name?
I think for 2018, it must be, last time I checked, it's over 50 billion. If I remember correctly.
LGSF?
5 billion, sir.
Exactly my point. So it's not 11.
No, but
I think it's time to really strengthen or empower the local government units.
Pakibasa
Not
po
because Senator Escudero will become a governor, but because this has been my advocacy ever since.
Yeah.
Kasi after all, yung power dapat talaga nasa baba
Again, Senator Lacson, in lieu of federalism, I am in complete agreement with you because if you give the money to the LGUs, they know exactly what to do with the money.
Should put it to the record.
Kindly submit that to us, Secretary.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ibasahin na lang po nyo,
sir,
magkano yung total.
yung
at saka
ALGO
pa-
po, 65 billion, pero ang laman po niyan, Metropolitan Manila Development Authority budget, MMDA, special shares of LGUs in the proceeds of national taxes, local government support fund, special shares of LGUs in the proceeds of fire code fees, and barangay officials' death benefits. Yung kabuuan po niyan is 65 billion.
Actually, the point I'm driving at, ma'am, if you may, ASEC, may pondo nga yung DILG. Dati BUB, ngayon ang tawag assistance to local government units. But the absorptive capacity is low because, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if it's still in existence, because of a COA DBM DILG circular that says you cannot download funds to an LGU that has not yet liquidated the funds given to them previously. And when you come up with a list, hindi naman pinapakialaman kung sino may unliquidated o hindi. So, ang nangyayari, ang manumping is, yung BUB, example, previous administration naman to, siguro wala kayong tatago, ilang percent lang na-implement sa BUB? Of the 11 or so billion given to BUB before,
Senator Chis, alam mo bakit hindi efficient yung BUB? That's development-oriented, di ba? Dapat yan, pang-development. Pero mga items doon, makikita mo, assistance to senior citizens. Tapos, kung ano-ano mga items na walang kinalaman sa development. But the intent of the BUB is for development, local development.
Manaping, that's what's ironic. It's called BUB, bottoms up, but the DILG at that time gave a menu. Paano naman magiging bottoms up yan kung may menu silang pagpipilian? Iba na agad yung pwedeng. But my question is nga, may local government assistance fund kayo for the past several years, but under COA, DBM, DILG, if I'm not mistaken, circular, you cannot release these funds to the LGU unless they have fully liquidated funds previously downloaded to them, which therefore results in a lower absorptive capacity insofar as this fund assisting LGUs is concerned. Is that an accurate statement? Yes, right? Diba? Kaya nga may mga seal of good governance kayo, di ba? Yung tama at maayos magpatakbo, yun ang binibigyan. Ang problema, nasa listahan pa rin naman nyo sila kasi malay nyo mag-comply. Di ba? So, that affects the absorptive capacity of these funds designed to assist local government units. Ano po yung solusyon nyo dun?
That is actually po part of the financial housekeeping. Kasi kung parang nanghihingi ka pero hindi mo pa nga nagastos yung binigay sa'yo, bakit ka bibigyan uli? Ayusin mo yung paggastos dyan, gamitin mo, tapusin mo yung project, then we give you another project.
Kasi sir, wag niyong ilista. Kasi nililista pa rin ng DLG mga project. Meaning, di ba, pag tinignan yung listahan, papalag si congressman, papalag si kung sino, bakit wala kami dito? So ilalagay niyo sa listahan, you'll include them in your fiscal space, knowing fully well that for the past 2 terms, and it's most likely the same governor or mayor, they haven't really liquidated. What's our solution there, sir? Either lahat ng nasa listahan nyo na walang liquidation pa o may pending liquidation, huwag nyo na isama kung yun din naman yung policy or principle para yung pera magamit dun sa mahusay at maayos magpatupad. Would that be a correct policy?
Your Honor, regarding the BUB for fiscal year 2013 to 2016, yung sa DILG implementation lang po is amounting to 13.09 billion. And 89.14% ang completion rate and 97.39% naman po ang delivery rate. Hindi po kasama dito yung mga ibang departments.
Yes.
But
the circular covers only DILG or the other departments as well? Meaning, kung ang LGU ba may unliquidated sa ibang ahensya, ang DILG hindi siya pwedeng bigyan. Ganun ba yan? Hindi.
Ang alam ko kasama rin po pati yung ibang agency.
So, may binigay ang DSWD, may binigay ang DOH, may binigay ang DILG. Pag sa isa sa mga yon may hindi sila na-liquidate, hindi mo na sila pwede bigyan ng kahit na anong ahensya ng national government. Ganun po yan? What is that the case, sir?
Sa side po ng DILG, pwede pong i-release. In fact, for 2019, 2018, direct release na po. Direct release.
Kahit na may unliquidated sila sa DILG mismo? O pag DILG, hindi?
Opo. Sa direct release na po, kahit na hindi pa may obligated for 2018.
Hindi po, kahit may unliquidated pa sila.
Opo, yes.
Release pa rin yan?
Yes, as far as DILG is concerned.
The other agencies you cannot respond
yes,
to, of course. So wala na yung circular na yan, sir? Hindi na applicable yung circular na yan? No, admittedly, direct release. So that circular is no longer applicable? Or you're not just following that circular anymore?
We have a separate requirement which can easily be complied with by the LGUs.
Which
the
is?
DILG Good Financial Housekeeping and the Public Financial Management System in adoption to the corresponding improvement measures and the functionality of the LDC. So yun lang po yung aming requirement, which is...
Basta okay na yan,
yes,
na yan.
opo, Your Honor.
With the permission of Manong Ping, can I ask some other points? Yes, sir. I heard the discussion earlier about the hiring of policemen and that ratio is not as ideal as it should be. May I ask how the ongoing program of the DILG, PNP particular, anong status sa for lack of a better term, pag-civilianize ng PNP? That has been a long discussion since I was a congressman first term here. When I say civilianize, to hire non-police personnel to perform non-police functions. Their salaries are by far cheaper, and your existing policemen, more of them, can be sent to the field where they belong. Tinraining nyo, binigyan nyo ng uniforme, binigyan nyo ng baril, tapos office work ang ginagawa, messenger o driver ng general. How is that program proceeding, sir? The same is true actually, Secretary Anyo sa AFP noon if you remember.
Yes, Your Honor. May I refer this to the Philippine National...
What's the status of that, Director General Albayalde, sir?
Sir, actually, we have hired additional 15,000 non-uniform personnel already that will replace PNP personnel doing administrative works. That's the reason, basic reason for that is so that the PNP doing the administrative works, they can be deployed in the different stations also.
So you will technically add that to the supposed number of PNP personnel that you're supposed to hire, because these are warm bodies that used to be inside the offices but which are now available to be deployed in the field. Would that be correct?
Sir. Yes, sir.
So for 2019, ilan po yung non-uniform na i-hire ninyo at ilan yung uniform na i-hire ninyo para pag in-add natin, yun yung magiging total po ninyo?
15,000. Ilan na ba yung nakota doon sa 15,000? Out of the 15,000, sir, we have hired 7,500.
For 2018?
Yes, as of this time, sir.
Later on, I'll try to discuss that with Senator Legarda. That's also our problem with DepEd, with the hiring of teachers. They're supposed to hire about 30,000 teachers. In your case, and how many policemen, sir, for this year?
10,000, sir.
And how many have you hired thus far, sir?
The recruitment is still ongoing, sir. We have not reached the 10,000 quota yet.
How many have you actually hired as of today?
Those applicants. 8,000, sir.
And what is the budget for this year? Is it 10,000 times 13 months? 10,000 times the salary of a PO1 times 13 months? Ganun ba ang computation nyo sa budget?
Sir, if we convert the requirement for personal services for a 10,000 recruits, that's around 4.5 billion.
Yun ba
For
yung
the
allocation?
10,000.
Yun ba yung allocation
Yes,
niya, sir?
Yes, sir.
That's the point I'm driving at, Madam Chairman, Senator Ping. If they lack funds for other items, we can touch actually the budget for PS because usually DBM proposes a budget. If they say 10,000 policemen and 15,000 non-police personnel, the budget is usually allocated as follows. In DepEd, it's times 9 months. I don't know where they got that figure from. But for the PNP, as you responded, sir, it's for 13 months. But you don't hire all 10,000 by January 1 and pay them for 12 months and give them 13th month pay. Some you will hire in February, some in October, some in September. Sabog-sabog yun eh. DepEd just came up with a rule, will average it off 9 months. But at the rate you're going, if you've hired only 7 of the 15,000, edi clearly kalahati ng budget sa non-uniform personnel, hindi na magagamit ho yun. Minang sayang yung space, di ba? You could have used it to buy either guns, police cars, additional fire equipment, because you already know for a fact that you don't have a list of 10,000 people that will start working by January 1. You don't have a list of how many policemen by January 1. Mag-e-exam pa yan eh. So, technically, you can program when they'll come in, and you can ask for that amount, roughly, para within the budget of the DILG, magastusan nyo yung faster-moving items, sir?
Sir, first, there are requirements on converting PS to MOE and capital outlay. First restriction.
That's why we should do it now. That's why you should
Yes,
give us
sir.
a computation now as to exactly how much exactly will you be able to spend and how many exactly will you actually realistically be able to hire. Kaya sa pinopondohan natin yung 10,000 this year, hindi naman, you know for a fact na hindi naman magagawa yun eh. E di ilipat na natin sa iba. Now is the best time to do it.
So that would be very good, sir, because what is actually released to the PNP now is actual strength on a monthly basis. So kung payagan tayo, sir, to use the PS to some other, given the liberty, sir, it could really help.
No. Payagan either in a special provision for the 2019 budget or give us a comfortable amount, clearly not the 10,000.
But only 7 months ang provided sila sa 2019.
According to the LBRMO, ang computational ay 7 months. Ang computation ng DBM. Do you know where this came from? For DepEd, they're computing at 9 months, ha? 9 months ang DepEd. Kayo, 7 months pala, apparently. So it's 10,000 PNP personnel times 7 months lang.
Yes, sir. Probably, sir, this is based on a semestral recruitment because every year, our first oath takers would be around July. So if we are given that fiscal space on January, July, PS component of the would-be recruits and can be used for MOE or capital outlay at the liberty of the PNP, then that would be a very good avenue.
But if it's semestral, again, if it's 10,000, you cannot fill up 10,000 by the first semester. So, exactly. So, kaya daw 7 months kasi kung semestral ang hiring, mali pa nga yung 7 months. May Christmas bonus sila, pero yung Christmas bonus nila is proportionate to their service, which is only half a year. So, it should be 6.5 months if ever. For half. Not for the whole amount. So we have that amount roughly that we can actually do now during the budget deliberations and reallocate or realign for other needs of the PNP.
If there could be a special provision in the GAA that says so for 2019, it's a very good welcome on the part of most, lalo na sa PNP, sir, kasi ang recruitment namin is around 17,000. Imagine you can use half of the requirement instead of being reserved in the lump sum at DBM. No, yung MPBF, then we might as well use it.
We'll consult with Senator Lacson on this.
In short, Senator Chis, you won't be needing anymore the lacking variance doon sa MOP per capita pag nagkaroon ng special provision.
Yes.
Because right now, for the information of the Chair, Senator Chis, I received a letter request actually from GPNP Kasi last year or for this year, I remember binigyan namin kayo ng ano to close the gap, di ba? Ang hinihingi nyo is, I think at the time was 1,413 per capita, di ba? Ito yung sa MOE. Ang naibigay sa inyo, 1,390. So, naniningil kayo ngayon ng kulang. Ang total amount is 250 million. But with the suggestion of Archie na magkaroon ng special provision na pwedeng ma-realign yung para sa personnel, sa PS, papuntang MOE, magkano yon? Masyado malaki yun.
That's around 2.5 billion per semester, sir.
Marami
Per
pang
semester.
sobra yun, Manong Ping. Maliit pa yung, that's only about 10% of what we can realign actually. Which, if I may suggest, can you, since wala naman training yung non-police personnel, meaning college graduate, typist, whatever, messenger, driver, perhaps you can hire, and it's easier to hire non-police personnel, again, to put more police personnel in the field, and it's by far cheaper. Malayo hong mas mura ang sweldo, hindi po ba, ng driver kaysa sa police na driver ng general? Exactly. Malayo ding mas mababa ang sweldo, halimbawa, ng security guard kaysa sa police na pinagbabantay sa gate ng kampo. Sa Amerika ho, na number 1 terrorist target yata, ang bantay sa mga military camp ho nila, security guard ha. May MP siguro sila sa loob. But again, di ba, tinraining mo yung police, binigyan mo ng armas, ganda ng uniforme, ang taas ng sweldo, tapos ang trabaho, na hindi ko minamaliit, trabaho ng security guard, na sasaludo sa gate, magtataas ng harang, kukuha ng ID, bigay na ho natin yun sa security guard, magkatrabaho pa yung mga security guard. And again, we have a cheaper way of actually putting more warm bodies in the field by hiring non-police personnel to do basically non-police functions. And the same is true, sir, for the AFP, for that matter, but you're with the PNP now. One last point, with the permission of Manong Ping. May I ask, Director General Belde, may quota system po ba ang PNP sa mga nahuhuli? I mean, I hear this wherever I go. In whatever province I go to, quota system sa nahuhuli either sa user, sa illegal gambling. Is there such a thing?
None, sir. Wala po. In fairness, even
Medyo
the
nag-post ka
president...
nag-post ka ng mga 2 seconds.
That's not absolutely correct.
No, I just wanted to emphasize it. I want to emphasize this because we've been answering this question ever since.
I don't think that's absolutely correct, ano, yung statement mo, because that's part of performance audit eh.
But that's coming from the national headquarters, sir.
Yes. Hindi quota, but that's part of your performance
Yes.
audit ng personnel. Kasi kung wala nang uhuli, hindi tatrabaho.
Yes.
Di ba?
Yes. There's no quota.
Forgive me
just
if
have
I
to
use the
deliberate
word
on the
very loosely.
performance.
So ano yung kailangan nilang gawin para mag-perform?
They just have to
Babalik talaga ito.
perform their duty, sir. They
Which
just
is manghuli.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir,
They
di
just
ba
have to-
dapat ang performance ng police, assuming ginagawa niya yung trabaho niya, pag zero crime rate o mababa yung crime rate sa lugar, nag-perform yung police.
No.
Unless ang assumption nyo, hindi nga niya ginagawa yung trabaho niya, kaya hindi necessarily ibig sabihin walang crime rate dyan, hindi lang siya nanguhuli. Is that the assumption?
Yes, sir. That's the reason why we have the oversight committee already. It doesn't matter if you don't have any accomplishment, provided that your area of jurisdiction is peaceful. You just have to show to us that your jurisdiction, your area of jurisdiction is so peaceful that you don't need to have an accomplishment whatsoever on criminality or in anti-illegal drugs. So it doesn't mean that if you do not have any accomplishment, sir, you're not doing your job. So it's not really a point system, sir. We do not base our performance on the
Number of
actual
arrests.
number of operations. Kasi there are places in our country that are so peaceful, sir.
Yes.
But you have to show it to us that those places, you don't have any accomplishment. Basta you show that there are no shooting incidents in your area, wala pong nakawan dyan sa area, no, then it's perfectly fine.
Okay lang ho yung nakawan, malalaman natin yun eh. Okay lang ho yung patayan, malalaman natin yun eh. Pagsusugal halimbawa, di ba we have this old law which says bawal magsugal.
Yes.
I'm not even talking about weteng or STL. I'm talking about magtongit ka o mag-entry 4 kayo laro sa amin o magpiso-piso kayo. Di ba? Laro na matatanda yun eh. Piso-piso kayo. Technically, that's illegal eh. I mean, strictly speaking, that's illegal. May nagtotongit sa palengke habang naghihintay bumagsak yung mga isda ng mga isda. Hinuhuli lahat yun, which is illegal naman talaga. Ang masakit lang ho, yung ebidensya, 14 pesos, 20 pesos dahil piso-piso. Pag hinuli ho, ang bail, 18 mil. Now, from the point of view of the law, it's difficult also to say legal na yan. Diba? But on the practical side too, from my perspective, mas marami naman sigurong seryosong krimen. Hindi ko sinasabing huwag sila huli na. Yung nahuli, pag sumobra ng 2 lamesa yan, pasugalan na yan. Tira na yan. Pero, yung nagtotongit sa waiting shed, di ba, ano eh, ang hirap. Tapos yung matatandang wala namang ginagawa sa hapon, kung hindi yun. Now, I don't know how as a policy the PNP will really approach it because there's a law too. Can you elucidate on it, sir?
Yes, sir. Basically, we have a long-standing order against on the implementation of anti-illegal gambling law. So, hindi po bumababayan, sir, ng yung on our campaign against anti-illegal gambling. But then again, most of the time, it will be on the discretion of the commander also. Like yung, sir, yung sinasabi nyo, kung tongit lang yan, or probably it's is parang cruise na kung sila-sila, piso-piso.
Sir, di ba, hoy, bawal yan.
Yes.
Sige na kayo.
In most cases, sir, hindi naman, sir, probably in some isolated cases, yes, there were incidents of arrests. Pero in most cases, sir, hindi po masyadong pinapansin yon. Like, for example, yung sinasabi nyo tong-it na sila-sila, especially so, basta malilit lang, it's like piso-piso, especially so sa mga, kuminsan sa mga pila ng
Sir, to clarify the law, gambling in public places, clearly that's covered.
Yes, sir.
But gambling inside your house, gaano mang kalaki yung mansion mo, gaano mang kaliit yung bahay mo na tanaw galing sa bintanang nagsusugal kayo mula sa kalye, is gambling inside your own house illegal from the point of view of the PNP? Meaning nagtotongit kayo ng 100, 200, 300 kada tama sa kada bahay. Does the PNP view that as illegal? Or can you do that within the confines of your own house? Siyempre, pag 5 lamesa na yun, pasugalan na ho ang tawag doon. Gambling din na yun eh. Pero pag nagsusugal kayo, magkapatid kayo, magkaibigan, magkumpare, is that illegal? Iba yung wedding. How does the PNP interpret the law, sir?
Yes,
I'm just curious, baka mamaya bigla nyo akong hulihin kasi.
Yes, sir. Technically, that's probably illegal gambling. Pero sabi ko nga, sir, it all depends on the appreciation of the commander always. So we give the discretion to the commander on the ground kasi depende sa appreciation. Like what you have probably have said na sila-sila lang, pero yun pala, ang nangyayari doon ay talagang thousands of pesos na ang betting. That's illegal gambling. And especially so, may mga bisitang pumapasok doon, then that's illegal gambling.
One last point, Madam Chair, with the permission of Manong Ping, I just overheard it earlier. You were talking about fire equipment. In the previous administration, ang daming bidding ng fire truck na naudlot. In fact, una ko narinig yan, panahon pa ni dating Pangulong Estrada. For the past 3 years, may bidding na bang natuloy na nakaprocure tayo ng fire truck? At ilan yung bidding naman na hindi natuloy? For whatever reason. Right now, I think you're utilizing PITC and DBMPS. But that's in a way an admission that there are indeed problems within the procurement system of either the BFP or the DILG. Sir?
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. Sir, as of now, we are conducting bidding with the BFP. Meron kami ngayon, we have the successful bidding. So ongoing na yung ating post-qualification for the 56 units fire trucks for 2018 budget and also the early procurement for 2019. So ongoing na yung ating post-qualification.
Previous to this, sir, ilan yung successful biddings at ilan yung hindi?
Yung PIT, sir, sa ngayon, magkakaroon pa rin sila ng opening of bids this November 26. And also yung sa DBMPS, ngayong November 15, meron din silang opening of bids for...
Sir, that's all for 2018?
Yes, sir. Yung previous procurement natin, sir, yung 429, yung 2014, yun so yung 469 units na junk fire trucks. So distributed na, sir, yung mga fire trucks nationwide. So,
Sir, correct me if I'm wrong. Ang nagiging problema, parang nakita natin sa third telco, nagdedemanda yung losing bidder. Diba? It's not necessarily the fault of the procuring entity. Nagdedemanda yung losing bidder or yung winning bidder kahit walang demanda, hindi nakakapag-comply, hindi nakakapag-deliver. Again, this is in the past.
yes, sir. Yun po yung isang problem natin. Yung junkie natin, sir, yung mga members natin na mga procurement ay may kaso sila ngayon, sir, nakasampa sa ombudsman. So yun, sir, yung mga naging reason kung minsan bakit nagkakaroon tayo ng delay on the procurement dahil sa pagsagot natin ng mga MR nila, yung mga complaint nila. So na-address natin muna, sir, yun para makapag-proceed tayo sa procurement.
So ngayon, tatlo po tayo. May nagbibid may nagpo-procure for the needs of the BFP, ang DBM,
PITC,
ang PITC at ang BFP mismo.
Yes, sir.
So tatlo.
Yes, sir.
How was it divided up? Sino nagsabing ito ang ibibid nito, DBM? Ang pondong to, PITC magbibid. Ang pondong to, kami magbibid. How was it divided up?
Actually, sir, yung 2018 and 2019, yung BFP na ang nag-bid, sir.
Okay.
Because mayroon findings ang COA na nirefrain kami to transfer yung budget sa procurement procuring entities outside BFP.
Technique naman talaga yan na nililipat sa DBMPS at PITC para hindi bumalik yung pondo, di ba? Kasi technically, pag nilipat na yung pondo sa kanila, obligated na yun eh. And that's common practice among agencies dahil 2-year validity noon, 1-year validity ngayon, bago, kaysa mag-lapse, pabidding muna sa DBMPS o PITC, from your point of view, obligated na yun, nilipat na yung pondo eh. But so, yung binibid ng DBM at PITC, last year pa na pondo?
Yes, sir. Ang nasa PITC, sir, yung 2015 to 2017 fund natin, sir. So, reason din, sir, yan, kasi yung 2014 natin, after the procurement of junk fire trucks, nakasuhan lahat yung members natin ng Bids and Awards Committee. So, medyo nagkaroon ng problema yung mga members natin. So, that's the reason na nag-transfer na rin ng funds for the PITC.
Kaya, para mabuhay pa rin yung pondo, hindi masayang.
Yes, sir.
I mean, kasama naman yun eh. That's part of it. So we're expecting a total of how many fire trucks out of all of these biddings from DBM, PITC, and BFP?
So 210, sir, ang ating in-expect na delivery pagka naging successful yung bidding natin for 2018. Then another 56 for 2019, sir.
What about the 2015 to 2017?
Kasama na, sir, lahat yun.
Kasama na lahat yun.
DBMPS, PITC, and the BFP procurement. 210, sir, lahat yun.
Kasama na lahat yun?
Yes, sir.
One last point, Madam Chairman. In the procurement of vehicles by the PNP, sir, para hindi na maulit yung, I won't even deliver a long peroration about it, para hindi na maulit yung Mahindra debacle ng PNP, pwede ba i-consider po ninyo na ilagay sa terms of reference, must have sold at least X thousand number of units in the Philippines? Let's say, put a figure of 100 or 200,000. Logically, para may piyesa na sa kada sulok ng Pilipinas, alam na nila kung paano rin gawin yun. Kesa President Duterte himself said that. He's against the procurement system wherein the lowest bidder always wins. Because the lowest bidder is not always the best bidder. Your Mahindra debacle is the best example of that. Pinakamababa nga ang Mahindra, pero dagdag ka ng konti, naka-Fortuner ka, o naka-pickup ka, o ano ba yun sa Mitsubishi? Montero ka, which by far perform better, even Innova for that matter, which by far perform better than that Mahindra any day of the week. Yung turning radius pa niya, pantay, hindi ho bitin. Because I tried it out when it was first delivered to us. I tried it out to find out exactly the quality of that. Is that possible, sir, to avoid, again, that situation? Yes, sir. Archie?
So the procurement law is always based on the lowest bidder. But what the agency should remember is that the post-qualification under 9184 does not impose to the agency anything. So sir, nasa post-qualification on the determination of the quality. So since this administration sat down, we imposed a 25-year existence in the Philippine market. Kasi sabi ko sir, huwag niyong pagpraktisan ng PNP. Prove yourself in the Philippine market first, exist, and then that's the time you join government procurement so that we get
Or sir,
quality.
for that matter, must have sold na, you can also add, must have sold this X number of units in the Philippines. Because my problem is, they may have been here for even 100 years. But the unit they're selling you is a unique unit that's only available. Nangyari na rin yan, sir, di ba, sa AFP. Binentahan tayo ng Koreano, yung pala yung gulong nila, unique. Sa kanila lang tayo pwede makabili ng gulong na yun, na sobrang mahal ng gulong. Ni walang ginagawang ganong gulong yung Goodyear, ni walang ginagawang ganong gulong yung Radyo Tunggal, doon tayo niyari. So, I mean, must have sold, or, di ba, in the market, Mahindra, the one that won Mahindra bidding is actually the owner of Kia, and all he did was to prove in your post-qualification na meron siyang service center, di ba, sa kada lugar ng Pilipinas, nilagyan niya ng sign lahat ng Kia Service Center. But they're not even selling the unit here. So walang spare parts, walang mekanikong marunong din. I just pity the PNP, especially in the province. Whenever I say Mahindra Jeep, sa totoo lang naawa ako, lalo na kung malaki-laki yung police, yung tuhod niya talaga sasabit at sasabit sa dashboard. At yung back-to-back ho ninyo, literally back-to-back, yung likod ng police ang magkasandal sa isa't isa. Dahil ang baba nung sandalan eh. I mean, I'm sure you've seen it. Let's not allow that and do that to our policemen. And there's an easy way of doing it. In the terms of reference or in the post-qual nga ho, short of naming the brand, otherwise that'll be corruption. Sa totoo lang, if I were made to choose, I'd choose a pickup either by Mitsubishi or Toyota, diba? Or an SUV, either Mitsubishi or Toyota, or the counterpart of an AUV. Actually, mas magagamit ho nila yun eh. At mas may silbi ho yun eh. Opo, mas tatagal eh. Just that, Madam Chair, Senator Ping, I'd like to thank the PNP family and the DLG family for being patient with our queries, questions, and inquiries. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Yes, we have a 1 o'clock DPWH hearing with the same team, and this is my second hearing. Yes. If my colleagues have no questions, we will approve your budget. And if there are any, but subject to, yeah, subject to, well, I can call you anytime. We can call you any for questions, yes. Okay, so thank you.
So moved.
Because the police have much to do. Secretary Anyo has much to do. And,
So moved, Madam Chairman.
Can you do to other areas what you did to Boracay on the requirement for the STPs?
Yes, Your Honor.
Pakigawa yun.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, sige. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank
Budget
you,
is
Your Honors.
approved. And session is suspended.